Challenge going was right in the middle of this. You pick it up down there and take it back. That's the cord.
Hello.
Long time no see. So I'm still having a problem submitting forms online to you.
I know.
I don't know. So I just brought my T-shirt over. When I fill it out, just hand it to them. All right. And then like for the category forms, can I just fax that all to you?
You can. Yeah, fax it for easiest one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's good. So, and I know we're coming down to the
a lot of times
wire here.
computers don't like that word Vegas. And if it's a work computer, it'll kick you right out.
Well, and I tried. Well, so then I tried this morning from my house before I left to go to work. Still nothing. So I don't know.
And sometimes you got to change browser.
Okay.
Go to Firefox, go to some other browser.
I'll try that first before I do anything. But yeah, other than that, I'll just start with my serious stuff. Okay, all right.
Well, I know they contacted me. Oh yeah, I just thought he was coming up to talk about a lot.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll take a seat, we'll get our meeting started. Let me begin with a Happy New Year and a welcome to 2017. We now start counting down to the race in March. And as team captains, you will fast recognize that this next few months will go by very quickly. And the organization of your team and how you do that And the better you do that, then the better organized the race will be overall. I want to begin with a thanks to the folks on the stage. These are the RB support and the rules committee that step up each session here to help and distribute the team t-shirts. So again, thanks to them for coming in early and setting up the team t-shirts. Make sure that if you have not picked up your shirts today, that you do so before you leave here. Let me also add to that, thanks to the folks that came here today to assist in the race and to show what they can do to help you organize your team better. To my left here against the wall, this is Enterprise, Rent-A-Car, and DJ Band. So make sure that if you're looking at Rent-A-Cars, that you do stop in and talk to him. I'll get back to the credit union in just a moment. Next to them is the Lap Rack store and the flashing vests and all of the paraphernalia that come along with Baker to Vegas is available there. Next table is mobile relay radios. These are handheld portable radios and systems that will assist you in coordinating your team. Stop in and take a look and see what they have to offer. Next there, and you can just start to see the top of his head, is Smitty and Smitty Sign Works. You will need, every team here, a reflective number, your team number, in the back right corner of your follow vehicle. Smitty has those numbers. As long as you know your team number, and my goodness, I hope you do by now, then you'll be able to pick up today those team numbers. He has the combinations available. The caution runner ahead sign, as well as if you're really interested and have the finances available, then perhaps he can look at making a team sign for you as well. Races like this and all other events are certainly difficult to put together without a great deal of financial backing and assistance from great organizations. I'm going to bring up the Sponsor Relations Officer, which is a great title. This is Angela Dinnerson, and she's going to speak a few moments about the LAPD Federal Credit Union. What they have here, and I want to be sure that you do pick this up. If you hold one up for me there. There we go. These are items that the credit union has gone out and purchased. They're for the team captains here. Be sure you pick up these items before you leave here today. I'm assuming, because of the weather conditions that we have, that it will be cold on the race course. And if you're around stage 16, no matter how hot it is in the daytime, it will be cold there. And these are items that will certainly keep you as a team captain. One part of your body will stay warm. That's the top of your head with a beanie or these ear warmers. So please, thank you for the credit union for stepping up and taking care of this. And Angela, come on up.
Hi, thank you. My name's Angela. I am with the Los Angeles Police Federal Credit Union. I just want to let you know, if you don't already know about us, I know a lot of you do, we have sponsored this event for a number of years. Last year, we were able to sponsor over 40 different teams, spending over $30,000 for sponsorship. This year, we are the title sponsor, and I'm happy to say we have more money. So LA County agencies, if you're interested in sponsorship opportunities, please stop by and speak with me or one of my associates, and we can help assist you in that. Next month, if you come by our table, we are raffling off an iPad that might be good for you captains. You can keep track of everyone's times and stuff like that. So stop by our table next month. And then also look for us at the Baker DeVeca's award ceremony. We are gonna have some fun stuff. We're gonna have a cash machine, little fun game and stuff for you, and lots of other goodies. So thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you, Angela, and thanks to the LA Police Federal Credit Union for their contribution. Raffling off an iPad. I'm sure if I look around this room, there are a number of people here that wouldn't know how to use an iPad if they had it in their hands. A little 7-year-old granddaughter, somebody roaming around here, now she would, because she's already asked me for things that I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. In our seminar, I talked about the need for every team here to have their runners in an address book. And one of the other questions came up of, can you make people read what you send them? I said, no, there's no guarantee on that, but at least I know if I send it to them, hopefully they see it, and I don't try to go past one page and they will read that information. So later on, as I determine how this is going to be sent from you to me, I will need from you an address book with all of your runners in one address book and all of your follow vehicle crew in a separate address book. As we're going to make an attempt here to follow up and make sure that runners have the absolute accurate information that we know they need to know, as well as the follow crew. This is the time, and certainly right now, when the number of teams entered in the race, which currently stands at 283. Yesterday, a team dropped out, sent an invitation to a team that had contacted me and said they wanted to run, to say there is now space, do you want to run? And sometime today, or certainly by tomorrow, I will find out if that team will come through. Last year, we lost 15 teams between right now and the start of the race. My assumption is that will probably still hold true here. We will lose that many teams. The first page of the minutes will show you, and on the website today is listed the refund policy. So be sure that if you're getting close to that, and I know one team in here is certainly in that position to have exactly 20 runners and no more than that, then chances are certainly fair that they're not going to make it. So if it happens to you, be sure you know what the refund policy is. The preliminary run plan. The password to get into that system. I will start this weekend and work through all of the passwords, send that information directly to you, the team captain, and then you'll be able to log in to the run plan operation and begin to list your runners. This will then notify me that a team has started that process, completed that process, or only partially completed the process. And as we get further along, of course, these dates will become very necessary and you'll have to complete that. But I will send out that password by the end of this weekend. So teams that have asked me for the password in advance isn't necessary, but this is the time of year where you will start to put in the runners in the order in which they're going to run. This past week, the race director, myself, Robert Seabreeze, the coordinator for medical operations, met at Arrowhead Hospital to work with that hospital on a brand new concept. We believe we have come to a point where it's going to be a partnership between Arrowhead Regional Hospital and ourselves to allow us to be able to upgrade the medical care of the runners from stages 2 to 9. Those are the stages within California. Stage 10 begins its run in the state of Nevada, and Nevada has a separate medical operation, not the same as California. This process of partnerships with Arrowhead Hospital is going to bring us a doctor for each exchange point from 2 through 9. That doctor will be able to work directly with a nursing staff that's at each exchange point to provide the best medical care the runner can receive there in the field. It is our hopeful plan that a doctor will be able to explain to a runner of the need for further examination. We've lost that touch in the last few years, and many runners have left the exchange point without really getting the necessary follow-up that they should get. And we're going to see if this is going to make a change in that operation, as well as the nurses will then have direct protocols to follow from the doctors who are there at the exchange point. So this is going to be an upgrade in our medical operations. We're certainly thankful to Arrowhead Regional for providing us with this staff of personnel. Last year, we treated 11 people that went to the hospital. Of those 11 people that went to the hospital, 1 was flown directly to Las Vegas with a more serious injury than the other 10. But 10 still made their way to the Pahrump Hospital for their treatment. Fortunately, they did not have anything further than the initial dehydration. We have a seminar this morning, and I've gone into as great a detail as possible over the effects of dehydration. And again, this is not something that is a necessary evil. People live in the desert and don't have this affliction. We go out there, and a lot of runners who are both used to the desert for some, and others who are not, manage to push themselves just a little too hard. So we're here to try to make sure that you run competitively, have fun, but don't get injured. I've listed information. I called a few of these hotels in Pahrump to see if they still had rooms available, and they do. There are 5 hotels in the town of Pahrump and 2 RV parks. So a lot of teams that do use that as a central location, a command post, if you will, halfway through the race course. These hotels are available. I would urge you to make those reservations as soon as possible so that you do have your rooms squared away for the race course. I have a list of the radio rental, the communications systems available for you as teams. There is no team out here that should go into this race with no communications at all. I know a few do, and they depend solely on everyone being exactly where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there. But that's really taken a long shot effort here, and you shouldn't do that. You should have communications between the follow vehicle, you as a team captain, and the team catcher at the very next exchange point. If you have those 3 things taken care of, those 3 positions, then your race will go through here very easily, very calmly, without a lot of excitement. When you don't have communications and you just depend on people doing the right thing at the right time, then you're going to find out you get disappointed. There is a great deal of traffic on the race course. Getting from one place to another is not easy nor timely. So your follow vehicle and the team catcher and you as a team captain need to be in communication with one another. All the way back to Los Angeles, all the way into Las Vegas. It's a nice thing to have if you want to have that, But the reality is, the true reality here is follow vehicle to catcher. Those are the two people that need to be assured that the next runner is there, they're ready to go, and you're on time. All sorts of things can happen out there, as you're well aware, some good and a great many bad. And then you're late, and the runner's late. And you will see, as many of you have in the past, a runner that's trying very hard, running as well as they can, baton in hand, comes to the exchange point, and no one to hand it to. And now they're mad. And now they utter a few words that only adults should hear. And they're out there yelling in the wilderness. The exchange point personnel tell them, lay the baton on the table. You're free, you're done. When the runner comes here, we'll give them the baton. And so the late runner finally arrives, and 2 minutes, and 5 minutes, and 10 minutes have gone by. And all that effort that you've put in there to try to be a good competitive team has just been wasted by somebody that was not on time. So again, this is really a tough situation. In the daytime, it's tough. Once we reach nighttime, it becomes doggone near impossible to find anyone out there in that total darkness. So there's a list of vendors. There's a vendor in the room today. Take a look at these, find out which is going to work for you the best. Get your radios, put that into your budget, and rent the radios. Jeff Lee is in the room today. Jeff, right here in front, is the coordinator of our radio frequencies. How many last year, Jeff? We used and consumed a little over 500 different frequencies, different kinds of radios, radios that I didn't even know existed, but they're out there and you use them. The coordination of all of those frequencies falls on one person, Jeff in this case, to coordinate, so that we not only don't step on each other, we're not abusing anybody else out there in the desert using their frequencies. You do not take out your department radios for any reason, but at the same time, you're able to communicate. Well, all of that effort is done because you turn in a communications form. The form is now live on our website. Go to the website, go to Team Captains, scan down to links. You'll see the communications link. Click on that and begin to fill out that form. If there's a problem whatsoever, you'll be contacting Jeff to try to determine what that problem is. I will watch and make sure that teams do this, checking them off a list. Very shortly, I will be putting on the website a button that says, your forms have been turned in. And it's going to list the forms. One of those is the communications form. And you're going to see an X, and that's going to tell you that your form is now turned in. And when all those are turned in, you're good to go. As we get down to that cutoff and deadline, as every year does, then I'm going to be contacting you and saying, where is this communications form? And like a lot of team captains, you're going to tell me, well, I gave that assignment to my communications volunteer. They're supposed to do it. Well, they haven't, and now it's falling on you to make sure it gets done. So make sure that you do follow this. The first in, naturally, is going to get what they're asking for. If you delay and wait till the very last minute and try to use something that somebody else is already using, and you might find out you can't do that. So the communications form, very, very important. Make sure you look at that form. Yeah, if you're going to use amateur ham radio, or any teams here are going to use ham radios. Oh, only one team, okay, two of you. An excellent system. It comes with the operator. They can talk to anybody. It's a great system to use, but you have to have volunteers and a lot of equipment to do it. But that's going to consume very technical frequencies that Jeff needs to know about. So be sure that you're contacting and fill out that form as soon as possible if you're going to use amateur ham radio. "15-passenger vans." DJ, we have 15-passenger vans available? Okay. I was talking to the seminar, and I said the easiest way to be assured that you as a team know that all of your runners are ready to go is you load them in 2 15-passenger vans. Odds in one, evens in the other. And you take everybody, the entire race course. Nobody goes home early. Everybody stays. And if you're not running, you're helping. And if you're not helping, you're cheerleading. Now, to convince your team that that's the way you want to go, you've got a tough salesperson job to do. But again, the blessing there is you don't have to worry about somebody coming out of Las Vegas to run stage 14 who's being taken there by their spouse, and you're just going to be thinking they're going to be there on time, ready to go, and you're not going to worry about that. That's sometimes a little problematic. But if you put them all into 2 15-passenger vans, again, it's the easiest way to coordinate a team. Otherwise, you're looking at some other shuttle system to take your runners out there. And as happens with every team, there's at least a few that have 20 runners going in 20 individual cars. How many of you in this room have that situation? When you do, and you have them all in their own individual cars being taken out by somebody else, then you've got 16, 17, 18 hours of concern. Did they get there on time without any problems? No flat tires, no late, no anything else. Well, that's a tough chore. Moving a car from one place to another and finding parking on the race course is very difficult. In the best of circumstances, it's very difficult. We will not have a change to stage 16. You will get 1 parking pass for stage 16. It's a little early perhaps to work through your logistics of how you're going to do this, but again, 1 pass, stage 16. Whoever is going there is going to pick up the 15th runner and put out the number 16 runner. That's their only job. This afternoon, I've asked Glendale Police Department to volunteer, and they've done a good job of this, of bringing up their follow vehicle. So when this meeting is concluded, the seminar and any of those in the room here that want to come out and take a look at a established, well-done follow vehicle, come out onto the track, Glendale Police Department will have their vehicle there totally outfitted. I spoke to 5 or 6 other teams to ask if they could do this. One of the teams I spoke to said they would love to, but their follow vehicle last year tried to drive from LA to Las Vegas with a team sign on top. Bad idea. It blew off, got destroyed. Yes, that can happen. The follow vehicle signs, the team signs that are sometimes very elaborate, moving at 6 or 7 miles an hour aren't a problem. Moving at 35 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour then become a problem and it blows off. So that's unfortunate. But come out and take a look at, again, a well-done follow vehicle and how that's operated. No diesel vehicles as follow vehicles, none whatsoever. I would prefer there were no diesel vehicles out there at all. But shuttle vehicles and others, perhaps that's an impossible ask for there. But no follow vehicles are diesel. All are gas driven. We will inspect, that is, 2 of the Rules Committee members will inspect all new teams' follow vehicles. And rather than just make it a hit or miss, I think I'm going to contact you, new teams, and give you an appointment time to be at the Westgate Hotel Convention Center parking lot, which is right there off of Paradise, at a particular time to come in so that the crew out there knows who to expect and when they should be there, rather than just tell them 4 o'clock and then wait until 6 before people show up. So new teams will have their vehicles inspected. The rest of you in here, you will have your vehicle self-inspected. The checkoff sheet is on the website. You'll take that checkoff sheet, go through all of that equipment that should be on that vehicle, and make sure that you have it. Turn that checkoff sheet in at Follow Vehicle Check-in. I went through last year's estimated times versus actual running time. And as we happen to get every now and then, there were 3 teams that were within 37 seconds of being right on, which is outstanding. The U.S. Department of Labor team was one of those teams, and they were only a few seconds off of predicted time. Now, whether you're just outstanding at that or just doggone lucky, it's still pretty good. 77 teams were within 15 minutes of their estimated time. 66 more were within 30 minutes of their estimated time. 72 now we're an hour. Of all of those, that is actually pretty good, to be within an hour of a predicted time when this isn't what you do for a living. When you're trying to predict the time and capability of 20 people, a great many you probably don't even know. They just turn out there and they run. And the person who told you that they haven't run in years runs an outstanding time. And people that have told you they've been working out for 6 months walk the entire 6 miles. So you never really quite know. But we also had some poor estimations. 39 teams were off by 2 hours. 6 teams were off by 3 hours. Of the 6 that were off by that much time, one of those teams suffered numerous penalties. Must have had 3 down runners. So this adds to their time, and they weren't necessarily that poor at their estimation. But the others that were off by 2 hours, and it ran either way. They either ran faster than they predicted or slower than they predicted. Both of these sometimes do cause a problem. And here's the problem. If you predict your time at 19 hours, then you're going to start early in the morning on Saturday. If in fact you run 17 hours and not 19 hours, now you're running too fast. As odd as that sounds, you're faster than we're capable of preparing an exchange point. In which case, we're going to locate you on the race course, find you at an exchange point, and stop your team. Now, the outgoing runner is going to be told to go back to their car and wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe even half an hour for the rest of the race to catch up, and from then get back on the race and run. The time is not, you're not punished by the time that you're delayed, neither as an individual nor as a team, but it does interrupt how you're running. We don't like to do this, but in fact it's necessary if you're just out there too fast. Very, very critical of those that run at the end of the race. At the 3 o'clock start and the 4 o'clock start. Are you as good as you say you are? To the teams that have been in that area for many years, I believe them. To a new team that wants to run at that time when you send in your estimated time, then I'm going to pause and say, okay, if you think you can run 2 hours faster than last year, how do you know that? Have you tested these people? If you've tested them, where and when and what did you do? 3 laps around the station and call that a test? What did you do before I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to put you at 3 o'clock? Because there's nothing I can do if you start at the late afternoon starts and you are slow. You're going to get to a point in which we're going to pull you off the race course and say, this is it, you're done. If you do not reach stage 18, by I believe 0700, then you're going to be done on the race course. But even before that, if you're just lagging behind by too much, then we're going to have to come up to you and say, we can't hold the race course open for you for that long. So I'm very critical about teams that start at 3 o'clock and surely at 4 o'clock, that you are as good as you say you are. This all comes back to the point of testing your runners. There's a run in the back, Run to America, has a component of a half marathon and a 10K run. There are 10K runs. Where are the sheriffs here? When's the next sheriff's 10K? What station? Oh, Norwalk, this coming Saturday. So we'll post in the minutes, and certainly if you look on the website, we'll try to get the link on there to tell you to get out to the mug runs and either run a 5K or a 10K. And then you'll really know what are your runners capable of. And this is going to help you predict what you can eventually run. The Australians have asked me to make a request, an unusual one and certainly a very difficult one. They're coming here with exactly 20 runners. No extra help, no kangaroos, no anybody else, 20 runners. What they're looking for here is a willing soul or two to be an alternate on their team. And you'd ride along with the Australians. I'd understand a word they say, I'm sure, except get out of the car and run. So it's an unusual request, a tough one certainly. But we'll look for anyone that would be willing to help them out and ride in a follow car. 10 stages at their speed, that's about 8 hours, 9 hours in a follow vehicle. So you're going to be there a while. So if you're interested or know people that are, please contact me and we'll try to help them. Another team asked me this morning, is it possible for a runner who had left a station, gone on to 2 other assignments, and is now in an assignment where they do not have a team? Can they run for that one team that wants them? And I said, the rule is this: you will be eligible to run for your last assignment. If your last assignment wants you, then you're eligible to run for them. If they're intending to run in the station categories, then the answer is no, they can't run for you. A station category is that, exactly. Who is at that station? No loans, no past people, just those that at the station then and there. So that individual has to go back to their previous assignments and find out, are they going to run in the station category? If so, that's the only place that person can run. If they indicate that they're going to run the station category, it could be that that individual just does not have a team to run for it. It does happen. We don't like that to happen, but that's an unusual circumstance. You can run for your previous assignment if you choose to. Invitational categories. If this is a category that you're interested in, you must have 2 non-sworn runners, not support people, but actual runners, 2 non-sworns. And a non-sworn is a full-time civilian personnel assigned to your department, station, category, station or division, or a reserve. A reserve in our situation here, as far as invitational categories goes, is non-sworn. So you have those 2 choices, civilian personnel or a reserve to qualify for the invitational categories. Combine teams. If you're going to combine a team, or if you were a combined team in the past and you're not a combined team anymore, please get a hold of me, send me an email. I will adjust the name of your team to indicate who are you. Sometimes we just carry over those team names, and in fact, you're no longer a combined team. We talked a moment in the seminar about the need for a stopwatch in the follow vehicle. It seems odd that you would, because you're not there to time the runners. The timing system that we have times all of the individual runners, as well as it takes a photograph. The timing company that we're using here is looking, although we haven't completely ruled this as a possibility, of getting the information onto the internet as quickly as you finish the stage. I've tried to convince him that that's really absolutely not a necessity, but he thinks it is, and we'll see if we can't do this. It requires the amateur ham operators there to download information. There is no internet capable on the race course. So we would be using the hams in order to link up and get this information out. We'll see if that happens. Certainly this past year was a difficult year for law enforcement. Absolutely difficult year. The information will go out and try to get it on the internet as quickly as, on the website as quickly as we can, of the procedures to send a photograph of an officer runner that was on your team the past year that has since died. We will get that information and we'll put it onto your bib number. What I'm looking for here is the best quality photograph you can get of a close-up shot of that individual. A team sent a picture to me recently, and while it would look good in most circumstances, to put that onto the bib number would just disappear. It would not work out. So what we're looking for here is shoulders up photograph of that runner that will go on to the bib number for you, as well as the person's name and their serial number. Now, for some people, you don't carry serial numbers. You use a badge number, or you use a call sign. Whatever is your interest, whatever you want to have with that person's name, that will go on the running baton decal. So begin to gather that information. Send me the photograph. That, again, will go on to the bib number. We'll also have an opportunity here to have that person's photograph shown at the award ceremony just prior to the start. That information will go to the general manager here. So there's a form that we'll ask you to fill out to send that information on to the general manager and get that shown at the award ceremony. So to be sure to do that. Back to the runners for a moment. The need for the flashing vest. There are flashing vests available here. Many people have asked me about using other styles of flashing vests. I think you saw many of them last year. Tubes of lights, all sorts of things. As long as it is a flashing vest in both directions, front and back, and for the most part, these are going to be approved. They're going to be very expensive. I think if you looked at some now, range above $50 a piece. Depends on you. If you've got a lot of money, then certainly you can buy those. You can ask the runner to buy those if that's what they really want to use. But again, if you're going to use something other than what we currently have, be sure to email me the contact for what it looks like so I can take a look at it and make sure that it's going to fit and be approved. From 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., a flashing vest is going to be required. So as you begin to calculate your runners and your situation, as to how many of those you're going to need. But again, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. After 7 o'clock in the morning, it will not be necessary. And if you leave a stage prior to 7 p.m., you will not have to wear a vest. But at 7 o'clock, we will begin to enforce at all of stages that runners are wearing a vest. Make it and put a note to yourselves here. At the next meeting, bring in your FRS radio. Take it out of your follow vehicle, knock the dust off of it, put brand new batteries in it, and bring it to the next meeting. We will have a crew of amateur radio operators here, and their task will be to be sure that it's operational, it works, and it passes muster. Team t-shirts. I will take a look through the inventory of what was picked up today, what I still have on the stage. There were 3,000 shirts delivered. Take a look at how many teams have not picked up their shirts and begin to calculate what's needed. If you have not turned in your t-shirt order form, you will soon get mail from me saying, what's it going to be? If I don't hear from you soon, then I'm going to figure you for 10 extra large and 15 large, and that's what you're going to get. So unless you want me to fill out your order, be sure you do that for yourselves. Okay? Category form. You have now until February 1st to make up your mind. If you know what category you're going to run in, send it to me now. If you're having difficulty clicking on any of the forms, filling them out, and then trying to say send, then there's a problem that I really don't have an absolute answer for you, except something's wrong with the browser. If I knew exactly what that was, I would really be one smart guy. But I know there's something wrong here. It is operational. It works for a great many of the teams. But as I send a mail back to you and said, sorry, this came in blank, that's because it didn't work. And you're forced then to either find an IT person and figure it out for yourselves, or download it, fill it out, and fax it to me. But one way or another, please get this information to me as quickly and as on time as you can. The communications form, February the 3rd. By tomorrow, as Jeff notes to me how many teams have filled it out, I'll begin to click off the teams that have done this. So get on to that communications form as quickly as you can. Your volunteer form, the 17th of February. I sent one piece of information back to a team and said, please find me another volunteer. The one you sent me is already going to be there. Don't send me somebody that I know is already going to be there. And I know for a few other teams, they've sent me medical people in the past and all sorts of folks. And I have to tell you, hey, listen, they're going to be there anyway. I want you to send me somebody in addition to that. Never mind the person that's already going to be there. Send me somebody that's going to be able to work at a stage and take care of an assignment. They do not, again, have to be a sworn personnel. They can be non-sworn. The logic is clear and easy when it came to having somebody that you control. Because if they don't show up, if they show up late or leave early or don't work, the punishment is assigned to you as a team. The punishment you dish out to that individual back at the station, that's totally up to you. But if you give me somebody that is not assigned as either sworn, non-sworn, or just a friend, then you run the risk that they will not show up on time, that they will not do their assignment. There's no risk to them. So be sure you're giving me somebody that actually is going to come there and realizes you've got to drive through a lot of traffic to get to stage 7 or 9 or 15 and to be on time. Your estimated time, March the 3rd. So you have yourself about 60 days to compute your estimated time, to find your runners and get them ready to go. On the 20th of March, which is the Monday before the race, your run plan on the website will be completed. And at 10 o'clock, I will turn that particular system off. Run copies of all of the run plans that we have there. And as far as we're concerned, that's your order of running. If it's going to change, it's going to change on Friday in Las Vegas at the team check-in. But up till then, you can't change it. So you have until that day to get that all squared away. I was reminded at the meeting that our waiver form is last year's form, so I'll have to go in there and change that and make sure that we've updated that to 2017. The assignment of your volunteers is done in the inverse order that you paid the entry fee. The first team in naturally is going to get whatever that volunteer is asked to do. Last in, I can tell you right now, their space is all located at stage 16, where it's freezing cold and it's totally dark and it's dusty. It's just a tough place to work, but that's where they're going to end up. So when you travel through stage 16, you can look at all those volunteers and say, I see your team paid last. We're going to finish the day in the seminar trying to assist new teams. I will ask teams that have been in the race a long time that if there's somebody new in your area, Marin County Sheriffs, if it all comes to pass, is a brand new team. So we'll look for people in their area to say, can you come up and assist that team in handling the questions of how do you make this race happen? How do you get through all of this organization as quickly and easily as you can? If you want to come out again to the field and take a look at Glendale's follow vehicle, I would encourage you to do that if you're questioning how you organize your own team and that follow vehicle. They do a very good job of that. Our next meeting is going to be February the 1st, so be sure to be here on time. And any questions? I see, just like church, no questions, huh? Ah, the voice, come on up. The echo. Do we have a winner?
No, you're going to pull one.
Oh, I'm going to pull out the winner. Okay, bring it up. We'll try that. Somebody here's won an echo. Oh, any last minute gamblers, here's your chance. And we don't have it turned on, so there's no recording on that echo, so you don't have to worry about it. As soon as I pull a winner. No.